wrinkle, a uniquity that they had never thought to try in all their countless escape attempts.
The bullet in the brain? That seems a bit... Oh.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's what they're talking about.
Yeah, it seems like kind of a dumb development, doesn't it?
Yes, very good. I should have mentats ingest you instead of the other way around. Mentats. In any event, you showed up at the think tank, and because you had suffered a cranial injury in just the right place, bullets in the head are usually much more fatal, and yours was a light case of bullet headitis. But it was enough for the autodock in the sink to change its programming to fix the problem, and the brain extraction technology for once worked. That gave the think tank the knowledge its brains couldn't possess. With that knowledge, the procedure can be reversed. If they obtain that procedural data, they can use it to mush and modify their cranial cells into hosts to slip past the radar fence. I'm sure of it. And once they're off the reservation...
Brain reservation? So you say that's all loop here. It said they had to get 3 technologies after broadcast. I don't get it.
I consider coincidence to be profanity, along with the words astrology, herbal tea, and luck. So watch it, potty mouth. My threat broadcast is designed to instill and install fear. And along with the emotional download, other data rides the fear carrier wave. It prompted them to focus on retrieving those technologies and bring them to attack me. And coincidentally, pardon my language, all those technologies are needed to put a brain, your brain, back into its skull properly.
So he wanted us to come here to get my brain back?
He wanted them to attack, and he selected 3 random objects that were on the field to keep them busy, and for plot purposes, those 3 items are the things needed to return your brain back to your body.
But they downloaded the schematics, not the items. They can rebuild them.
Oh, that means my plan is a total failure. That is unfortunate. Oh well, at least I tried. Yes, my overly aggressive cammed-up broadcast was designed to keep reinforcing the forget, fear, rinse, and repeat program. Oh, and the get me the things to castrate your only possible escape attempt. But I couldn't delete you or your arrival any more than I could the other visitors. Only so much science can do when you started talking to them. You're really quite difficult to ignore, you know. It's because you're, well, rather intriguing, if you'll forgive an old brain for saying so.
But what does the technologies do? I mean, is a radar array a thinger and a thingy? Did we already ask the others that, though?
Yeah, but they know different things than he does.
The X2 antenna can be used to focus your alpha wave frequency thought patterns. The sneaky suit? Why, it houses a cardiac regulator. And the sonic sound wave projecto emitter was never intended as a weapon. It was a medicinal vertebrae pulse desensitizer. In short, brains, a heart, and courage. Spine. I think there was a story once where a band of murderous thugs sought these things. They had them all the time in the story. Didn't stop them from murdering to get them. And it won't stop the think tank either. Yes, yes, this is getting interesting. You are just filled with these little slices of curiosity, aren't you?
And my brain back, I guess.
Yep, that's left.
Do you? You seem fine without it. And does it even want to go back with you? Maybe you should ask it. It's quite independent, has all manner of opinions. Tell you what, I'll leave it up to your brain. If it wants to go, then fine. If not, well, you should respect its wishes.
So you get your brain back.
Indeed. The goodbye part of our little chat, then. Goodbye. Please mind the equations on the floor.
Here is where I say the DLC is just absurdity climaxes, so to speak.
Oh.
We
That means it goes downhill after this, though.
we need to talk to
our own brain, yeah.
And you understand that makes no sense, right? Because it should be thinking what we're thinking, right? We're just functioning because it's like a relay, you know?
Imagining all sorts of imaginary...
I didn't say before because Northern was got caught in an infinite text loop here they couldn't get out of. Whoop, there's Conair's brain. I think it's the greatest.
Well, look who finally dragged themselves in out of the wasteland. And where have we been? Crawling through pits of radioactive muck again?
Are you sure we're doing this for the rest of the Let's Play?
I've been doing it through a lot of their voice acting.
Because just of how pronounced it is?
Yeah, it's so accentuated.
Why does my brain sound so masculine?
Yeah.
Ah, well, as to that, you'd be surprised how hard a feminine-sounding voice modulator is to find in the Forbidden Zone. It's not as though brain-sustaining life support tanks grow on trees. I had to take what I could get.
I look at Will and you just go, this is too weird. I'll be back later. Are you my brain?
Ah, lovely. Figured that out, have we? Would you like a cookie?
Why is it... Are you such a dick? I mean, I say to our own brain that's a fair question.
Well, that's a fine how do you do. Me, quote, dick, unquote. As if I'm the one responsible for the way you carry on gadding about the wastes. I'm not the one that makes us clamber around Technus-infested ancient vaults or go charging off to New Vegas on missions of ill-conceived revenge.
It wasn't revenge.
And have we forgotten who got us shot in the head and buried in a shallow grave? Do you think I enjoyed that little moment?
Of course you're responsible. You're my brain. Honestly, I think that's a good argument.
Yes.
I most certainly am not.
Oh, I got a brain like can move.
Reason and logic in our little partnership. All those feelings that motivate you, that sense of righteousness and that rush you get when you help someone. Do you
Different
know
dialogue if
where
you're
those
evil.
come from? Glands. They come from glands. Free of the tyranny of your ape-like and primitive endocrine system, I can see how foolish your motives are.
But you're the source of most of those. Unless you're arguing that my thyroid is to blame.
Well, look, it's all a very complex system of biofeedback and other things I wouldn't expect you to understand.
But
But it's literally...
you're just as glandular as I am.
Oh, all right. Perhaps I am, but at least I'm logical about it.
He also sounds like a voice actor who I know, but his name wasn't on the list either.
How did Mobius get my brain?
After the think tank extracted me from your skull, they fell to bickering amongst themselves. I'm sad to say we were quite forgotten about. Dr. Mobius saw an opportunity to gain some leverage and had me spirited away to his dome.
How?
I don't know. I'm afraid the trauma of our separation rendered me quite insensate. I didn't come around until I was safely ensconced in this tank. I'm quite sure whatever he did was highly scientific.
Well, I mean, that does answer it, right?
Well, as long as your curiosity is satisfied.
I wanted to see what the other one was. That's what that thinking phase was.
Why don't you want to be reunited? I mean, you're a brain.
I'm not going to lie to you. The prospect is definitely not that appealing. Look at it from my perspective. Here I have peace, quiet, and safety. Well, barring the odd rogue scorpion. In your head, I've got poison, radiation, grisly injuries, and biological functions.
You are biological.
Do you know how much more you can get done when you're not constantly looking for places to urinate? It's quite a lot, I can tell you.
I love how the brain can gesticulate. Other good things, like a cool breeze, the smell of food, love. I see your point. How can I compromise? Or, too bad, you're coming with me because I have arms.
Cora's a romantic, so the first one.
Overrated biological feedback. Believe me, you only feel that way because you've got all that meat. Oozing hormones.
Isn't it just true? You only feel this way because you're lacking the hormones?
I suppose you're right. That does call certain assumptions into question, doesn't it?
You're at an impasse, you can't feel what I feel, and I can't think the way you think. Did you think of that, huh?
Indeed. Quite the conundrum. How do you suppose we resolve
We'll just
it?
clone you. You know, trust each other and acknowledge that we aren't complete if we're separate. Maybe we'll keep going like this, but then we couldn't leave the radar fence.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We'll make a compromise with ourselves.
I suppose there might be some advantage to that, yes. There's a chance that the reintegration would create some improved synergy between us.
First one, I guess?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose you've convinced me well enough. I'll rejoin your body if that's your final
It's a
decision.
lot harder to convince him if you don't have high skills.
Before we get to that stage of the proceedings, we have a problem. Even if I could settle myself back in your skull and reconnect all those pesky nerve endings, Dr. Mobius doesn't have the tools here. We would have to make use of Dr. Klein's lab, and I rather doubt the brains are inclined to share.
They promised to put us back together. Or we'll make them share.
Top.
And you believe them? Really? I know you were recently deprived of my fabulous advice, but... Really? Once I'm delivered into their clutches, they'll find a way past the radar fence and the home Mojave will be their playground. And that is assuming, of course, that one of them doesn't take a fancy to our body and decide to slip his own brain into it instead.
You're part of me? I'm not gonna let that happen. Yeah, the top one. What harm could it do?
Well, I suppose I do miss those endorphin rushes when we save the day. All right, what's the plan?
You're the brain. They do have that pacification field. You'll be more useful outside my head. I mean, it'd make you harder to... Well, no, it would make... Because you still have sense delicate equipment in your head, probably. If they don't uphold their bargain, we'll make them, or I'll handle it.
I mean, it is an I'll handle it, but I don't know if that means that it leaves the brain here and you
We-
have to come
we
all the
can-
way back for it.
We have fast travel.
That arrangement suits me fine. Do try not to get too many holes drilled in your head, will you? I may want to drop by for sentimental reasons. Right then, you'd best be off, hadn't you? The think tank will be waiting. No, don't worry about me. When you're gone, I'll flush myself over to the sink. It's amazing how far you can get in this place with a good flush. I'll keep myself hidden in the ductwork. Clyde
Stealth
won't
brain.
suspect I'm inside the dome, so he won't know the pacification field no longer works on us.
Oh, because we're in the same
I
place.
can also upgrade the sink's autodock with the procedures to reinstall your heart and spine, assuming you want all that flesh and gristle back. With any luck, I'll see you in the
Whoa.
sink when this is all over.
Don't
He did it
Bethesda
earlier.
brain.
He did it earlier, spinning in a circle. Oh, it just immediately shuts.
Yeah. Normally,
It doesn't like collapse. It just immediately was
I
shut.
believe that if you take it, you actually get your own brain in your inventory. Because it's like in a pod or something. Oh, wait. Want to loot Mobius' stuff?